Welcome to this presentation of Magnetic Mallet. Magnetic Mallet is the most innovative surgical device able to improve working standards in sinus lift and split crest practices. Did you ever get a bone compression like this?
So let's begin our split.
And such an easy split crest?
We begin with the first blade of the magnetic mallet. You have to use at a low power, and as you can see, this thin blade can help you in splitting this narrow crest with a total bimanual control. It's easier and easier to use than chisel and manual hammer.
With Magnetic Mallet you can. Thanks to Magnetic Mallet, you will avoid that applied forces influence the whole craniofacial bones of the patient. You will encounter no more problems of distress for the patient, causing dizziness, vertigo, nausea, also known as benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, due to the displacement of the otholites in the inner ear. In this way, the surgery practice takes place in a shorter time, and recovering for the patient will be much faster. Another advantage is to limit bone milling. Now, the advantages of Magnetic Mallet compared to the manual hammer in the osteotom practice. We used a simulator representing the craniofacial mass with its jaw and some spheres simulating the inner ear otholites. The bottom structure springs react as the neck of the patient. The hammer is handled by the right hand, and consequently the osteotom must be held by the left one, provoking a certain difficulty positioning the osteotom in the site. Giving the hit with the hammer, the craniofacial mass is totally influenced by the impact, and the spheres are heavily diverted. Using the magnetic mallet, the spheres remain in place as the craniofacial mass is not influenced by the impact. But why, using the magnetic mallet, the spheres stay in place while using a manual hammer they are diverted? In the test we conducted using the manual hammer, we got pulses of 40 decanewton and a duration longer than 300 microseconds. With the magnetic mallet you can have 4 different forces applied in relative timing of application, going from 65 decanewton applied in 100 microseconds to 260 decanewton applied in 110 microseconds. A much higher force applied in a very short time influences only the bone mass on which the doctor operates. Magnetic mallet is suitable for a traumatic sinus lift, flaspless technique, implant placement, abutment extraction, root extraction, and split crest. Using magnetic mallet, the doctor has a better visibility in the surgery, uses just one hand for both handpiece and osteotom, can easily insert the implant thanks to the specific implant housing, and improve and simplify the split crest thanks to the special cutters. Met Ergonomica designed a magnetodynamical handpiece energized by a control unit, delivering preconceived forces by timing of application. The osteotom is firmly hooked up to the instrument, and the application time of the force is the best one to achieve the desired plastic deformation. The device is designed to apply 4 forces of different strength, and the handpiece is operated through its ergonomic foot switch. If needed, it can be operated also by the manual button placed on the power supply. The handpiece can be easily placed in its housing during the various steps of the surgery. In the specific magnetic mallet suitcase, you'll find the power supply, the osteotom function handpiece, the foot control, a 10 instruments kit containing 10 different osteotom, 1 mm, 2 mm, 3 mm bone expanders for bone expansion and compression, 2.3, 3.3, 3.6 mm bone expanders for implant site diameter expansion, the beaver for the initial cut of the bone crest, the cutter for bone expansion technique, the extractor for roots and abutments extraction, and the new concept inserter to easily insert the implant. All the surgery instruments except for beaver and extractor are laser marked to show the difference in depth. This will make the check easier during the surgery practice. The standard supply also includes 1 spare silicone cap with 1 spare ring nut, 2 wrenches, a container with 2 blades and an instruction for use manual. But there are tools on demand too. A double-banded version of the standard instruments designed to favor the surgeon to get to the inner part of the maxilla or to the lower jaw. Instruments are available both in the autoclavable container and also separately. And the latest optional instruments, a 1.6 mm bone expander for bone expansion and compression, the new instruments for roots and abutment extraction. A further evolution of the magnetic mallet is the crown remover handpiece, suitable to remove crowns and bridges. The handpiece working is the same one of the osteotom handpiece, but the power is applied in reverse mode. With the crown remover handpiece, you obtain the deformation and the breaking of the retention cement and the consequent loosening of the crown or the bridge to be removed. The crown remover handpiece is supplied in its suitcase with a container and 3 hooks which can be sterilized by autoclave. Using magnetic mallet you can get an easier and faster surgery, working better and saving time. Have less traumatic operation for the patients, it doesn't affect the craniofacial mass. Use a flexible device for different purposes thanks to its versatility. Obtain a more rapid path to recovery for the patient. Distributed in Italy, Spain, Portugal, Turkey and Japan with great success, now ready to conquer new markets. Magnetic mallet, implantology rises to easiness. Have you further questions? Do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much for watching this video about magnetic mallet.